Humans only have one pair of eyes, but do you often stay up late? If so, please look carefully in the mirror while bathing. Check your body, maybe on your back, on your neck. You'll be shocked to find you've grown a few extra eyes. I exited the reader, yawning. I usually love reading horror novels and joined many fan groups. In a recent group, people occasionally shared strange encounters, but they were too fake. I sneered inwardly. Lindsay, stop reading. Help me, help me. Sure, I responded. My roommate Wang Tingting recently kept complaining about back pain. Online searches said massage could help, so she'd have me pat her back before bed. I thought she just slept too late. She always loved staying up late, but lately she'd grown bolder. Once I woke up in the middle of the night. Her bedside light was still on. Even that morning when she got up, she greeted me. I couldn't tell if she'd woken up or never slept. I pressed her shoulders, suddenly recalling the horror story. According to that story, shouldn't I check my roommate? But I patted her back every day and never felt any eyes. I felt uneasy inside. First her back hurt. Now her waist was starting to ache too. Wang Tingting complained, and I interrupted her. Just say you want a massage, and you need to sleep earlier. Staying up late harms your health. I pressed on her waist, and she jumped with a yelp. That hurts. I didn't use much force, I said quickly. Could something be wrong? Lindsay, take a look for me. I said oh and lifted the clothes on her back. In an instant, my hair stood on end. On her waist, there was a palm-sized eye, staring right at me. I froze. I thought I was hallucinating, but the bloodshot veins in that eye were clearly visible, or rather, not bloodshot veins, but more like blood vessels, even pulsing constantly, like arteries wrapped around the eyeball. I immediately pulled her clothes down. Lindsay, what's wrong with my waist? She reached to touch it. I instinctively slapped her hand away. No, nothing. Just a bit of bruising. Maybe you bumped into something. She didn't suspect anything and started playing on her phone. I couldn't stop trembling. Not wanting to be alone, I pretended to use the bathroom, left the dorm, and typed in a stall. Excuse me, who told the eye story earlier? I actually encountered it. Please help me. I was so nervous I made several typos. What do you mean? If you're making up a story, at least finish it. What's this half-baked nonsense? I'm not making this up. Didn't someone post about eyes growing on people who stay up late? It's actually happening to me. Are you here to troll? Pretty funny. Are you going to post this on social media next? Do you think we're fools? Yeah, exactly. Someone else countered. I saw that story too. No reason for this person to fake it. You mean he actually encountered it? Don't be ridiculous. Everyone knows the tales in this group are made up. A group member named Teaching Both Worlds suddenly spoke up. Have you seen that person eat recently? Doesn't everyone eat? Who doesn't eat? The group laughed, clearly not taking it seriously. I recognized the name. It was the one who'd posted the tale. I was overjoyed. But reading his words, I froze because these past few days, I really hadn't seen Wang Tingting eat. She had never liked going out, but she always ate with me. Then starting last week, she suddenly refused my invitations to eat together. Once or twice was fine. But after that, no matter how I asked, she wouldn't agree. I even got angry about it. If you don't want to be friends, just say so. Refusing to even eat together, what's that about? And she always said she stayed in the dorm, ordering takeout when I wasn't back, but I'd never once seen a takeout box. At the recent dorm gathering, she didn't attend either. That time I'd planned to drag her out to eat, since staying cooped up in the dorm was too unhealthy, but she suddenly got furious, looking at me like I was her enemy, coldly dropping a refusal and leaving. I was angry for a long time. Finally, she came to apologize, saying she'd been in a bad mood and would definitely go out once she felt better. I reluctantly forgave her. I asked nervously, what do you mean? When people are extremely hungry, the body first burns glycogen, then fat, and finally protein. Normally, Yi's burning sensation would tell him he needed to eat. But when isolated by machines, he would slowly consume himself. I was creeped out. What machines? What consuming himself? What are you two acting out? Ha ha ha, oh my god. That's so scary but interesting. Tell me more. I love listening to this before bed. Is that Western girl stressed out and hallucinating? Could be lighting issues, or eye fatigue, imagining fleeting shapes as eyes. My group is called Western. Some posts make sense. That scene was too eerie. I started doubting myself too, but that eye was such a visual shock I couldn't dismiss it. I told myself it was my imagination. I was anxious, wanting to tear through the screen. But I couldn't open her profile no matter what. App error? Then Shuan Mansion suddenly changed. If that person is still coherent, the injury isn't severe. If you want to save her, take a photo and send it to me. I'm close with Wang Tinting. I get sick often. After the other two roommates moved out, she's been taking care of me. I can't abandon her. I gritted my teeth, afraid my voice would tremble if I spoke. I barely managed to breathe. I forced a smile and said, Ting, let me take a photo of the bruise on your back. We'll see the doctor tomorrow, so we can show it to the doctor. Wang Ting gave me a strange look. Can't we just see the doctor tomorrow? Why take a photo today? Well, in case tomorrow. I almost blurted out, what if we can't see the doctor tomorrow? Luckily I caught myself. I carefully chose my words. The doctor might ask what the initial symptoms looked like. More photos help with diagnosis. Wang Ting fell silent, and I nervously waited for her answer. Fine, you have a point. Go ahead. She casually lifted the clothes on her back. I dreaded seeing that terrifying eyeball again, my heart in my throat. The moment she lifted it, I couldn't help closing my eyes, but things were unexpected. I froze. Her waist was smooth and clean, no eyeball at all. Not on her waist, not on her back. I carefully examined her back. It was definitely normal human skin, no sign of any eyeball. I casually brushed her hair aside. Nothing on the back of her neck either. Was I really hallucinating? I was momentarily lost. But I felt relieved. Wang Ting urged me to hurry up. I pretended to be calm and took the photo. Wang Ting leaned in to look. Nothing unusual here. You're just overthinking. I breathed a sigh of relief, feeling like I'd been possessed earlier. Why did I even think of asking online? I actually believed it. I wanted to laugh at myself for being so superstitious. Too many horror stories. It really was just me scaring myself. I felt lighter and joked with her. Nonsense, Princess and the Pea. Wang Ting laughed and playfully hit me. But somehow I felt uneasy. In nature, creatures, through natural selection, learn to disguise themselves as dead branches or leaves. What if that thing on Wang Ting did too? Where would an eye hide to go unnoticed? I froze, staring at Wang Ting's eyes. At first glance, nothing seemed wrong. But looking closer, the red veins were abnormally densifying, intricate lines. They even seemed to be pulsing, as if two eyes overlapped. My scalp tingled. In a panic, I suddenly snapped a photo of her face. She stopped. Her expression shifted unpredictably as she looked at me, like some beast cold and terrifying. Before I could speak, the weirdness vanished in an instant. What are you doing? Wang Ting yelled. I'm making a meme, for talking bad about me. She tried to grab my phone but failed, so she gave up. I clutched my stomach and ran to the bathroom. I steadied myself and sent the second photo to the group. That's so rude, posting someone's photo without permission. Joking around is one thing, but this is too much. Wait, look at this photo, something's really off. The group members examined it closely. The eye veins are a bit excessive. God! Were your hands shaking when you took it? Why does her left eye have a double image? If it were shaking, both eyes would have it. How could only the left eye? Her face is perfectly normal. And don't you think those eyes, staring dead at the photographer, are creepy? The group chat went silent. Suddenly a member jumped in. Are you serious? Anyone can screenshot. Meidu Zivaksu can do this easily. True. But I knew clearly I just took another shot with the original camera. Too bad it was urgent. I couldn't focus, so it looked less scary than in person. The chat stayed calm. The eyes were already visible. Not good. What time does he usually sleep lately? I thought for a moment, swallowed hard. I don't wear glasses during the day. Lately I haven't seen him asleep at night. It's like he doesn't need sleep at all. Doesn't need food either. What monster am I living with? I suddenly felt terrified. Maybe he napped during the day. Don't get scared, haha. Zhuang Mansion ignored the others. Your friend has an ink worm inside him, a parasite. Night owls usually harbor them. The incubation is long, but once it hatches, it takes over the host in 7 days. The eyes hatch first. He paused. Do you usually see unclean things? I thought, typing quickly, no, not before this. I've never seen anything strange. Silence on the other end. No reply. I could almost feel his confusion through the screen. I grew anxious. Was I supposed to see something? Don't you guys rehearse your stories first? So awkward. I almost believed it. That Schwang guy can really spin tales. Don't be fooled, group. Fight back. Be careful. Do you have words? Me? Yes, I do. I occasionally cook noodles for myself. Basic seasonings, we have them in the dorm. After brushing teeth, he sent another message. I quickly looked. Vague, but coherent. Not the worst stage yet. You just need to use words on his. I didn't finish reading. Suddenly someone knocked on the bathroom stall door. Knock, knock, slow, but heavy. I hurried to read on, casually shouting out. Occupied, but the person outside kept knocking. I sensed something wrong. I looked at the door in fear, barely daring to breathe. Suddenly, the person outside laughed. Lindsay, I know it's you. What's wrong with you tonight? Why keep running to the bathroom? It was Wang Tingting. I tensed up. What do you need me for? The student council is waiting at the door for you to sign the form. They did do occasional night checks, and though he was parasitized, he seemed sane. I deliberately waited, flushed, then opened the stall door. I smiled sheepishly. Must have eaten something bad. Diarrhea all night. Wang Tingting frowned. Don't eat junk if your stomach's weak. He seemed normal. Still caring about me as usual. I relaxed. On the way back, my mind raced. I wanted to peek at the chat but feared Wang Tingting noticing. I followed behind. My brain spun, thinking of a plan. Wang Tingting stopped. I looked up. We were at the dorm door, but no one was there. No student council at all. I went cold. My phone buzzed in my pocket. Lindsay, who keeps texting you this late? Wang Tingting's tone was still gentle. He seemed to have forgotten why he called me. He opened the dorm door himself. I stood at the threshold, legs weak. He urged me in. I was stuck, too scared to go in, too scared to back away. He stood inside, watching me. His eyes looked sinister somehow. I glimpsed veins at his corner. They bulged, about to burst. I blinked, and everything looked normal again. No, I need to think of something. My chest heaved. I replayed Shuang Mansion's words. He mentioned words. Right, words might work against the thing in Wang Tingting, if I could just get them. Should be safe for now. I walked into the dorm, nearly tripping over my own feet. The moment I entered, the door slammed shut behind me. I flinched. I looked up at him. Under the light, Wang Tingting's face was a sickly pale gray, bloodshot eyes, but seeing me come in obediently. He said nothing more, just sat back down. His state was clearly worse than before. I barely dared to breathe. Suddenly Shuang Mansion's words came to mind. Once Mojang breaks out of its shell, it only takes 7 days. 7 days. The last time I ate with him was exactly 7 days ago. Today might be the final day of whatever Mojang's maturation. That's why he changed so fast. I sat back down, seeing he wasn't watching me. I quietly slipped a handful of salt into my pocket. Still uneasy, I clutched another handful in my palm. In that moment, the group chat had 99 plus messages. I jumped to the latest one tagging me. It was from Shuang Mansion. Reading the first line, my hair stood on end. The Mojang I demonstrated is in late development. Ordinary people hold no appeal to it. But your situation could be very dangerous. I overlooked something. You can't see strange things. But do you get sick often? If so, your fate carries heavy yin energy. Usually heavy yin manifests outward as a third eye, but a few like you turn it inward into residual illness. When you are with him, do you ever feel something off? Like him being overly proactive at times? If so, then you are the rations that Mojang has prepared for itself. Run if you want to live. Overly proactive. What did that mean? I suddenly remembered something that had always puzzled me. It was my first meeting with Wang Tingting in the dorm. He sat silently in the corner. Barely spoke, just quietly unpacked. He seemed very withdrawn. My mom and his mom chatted. My mom sighed. My kid's health is so poor. Always getting sick. I'm worried about him living alone here. The moment he heard that, he suddenly looked up, eyes fixed on me with a flicker so different from his earlier gaze. Like a completely different person. That day he eagerly took me around campus, invited me to eat. Because of his warmth, we grew close. But I only realized later that my first impression was right. Wang Tingting liked staying up late. He was truly frail and withdrawn. He feared people so much he couldn't eat out alone. Yet meeting me, he actually asked out a stranger. I asked him about it later. He answered, I don't know why. I just suddenly felt like getting close to you. Good thing I did. Otherwise we might not have become friends. Maybe we were destined. I snapped back to reality. Had he been parasitized by Mojang even back then? My hands trembled as I typed. Master, if I run, what will happen to him? Chuang Mansion was surprised by my question. When Mojang breaks out of its shell, like a chick hatching, it will devour the shell completely. But eating isn't enough for full maturity. It needs the devotion of someone with extreme yin fate. That devotion is flesh and blood. He suddenly blurted out my school's name. You're at this school, right? Just escape. I'll come soon and persuade Mojang. My scalp went numb. This was getting too real, so scary. Could Chuang Mansion be a bad guy? A human trafficker or a scammer? I ignored them. I typed quickly. Is there a way to save my friend from death? Chuang Mansion paused, then sent a long message. I read it frantically, wishing I could read at lightning speed. Suddenly a voice came from behind. Lin Zai. Who are you chatting with? I froze. It was Wang Tingting. He stood behind me, almost pressed against my back like a shadow. What are you saying? I didn't dare turn around. His arm appeared in my peripheral vision, seemingly deforming, stretching like some highly elastic rubber, crawling up my leg. I watched in horror as it coiled around my leg like a snake, tightening like a vice. Pain shot through me, but the thing suddenly raised its hand, revealing a threatening gesture. Opening eyes filled with blood vessels, seizing the chance, I hurled the salt from my palm at it. But as if scorched by the salt plains, it melted with a shriek, letting out a terrifying cackle. I seized the chance, scrambling to the gate. Chuang Mansion said. Mojang feared heat. I needed to lure him to a place of extreme yang, where he was weakest. His growth would slow naturally. As long as he didn't fully devour me, he still had a chance to live. Chuang Mansion said the school's feng shui revealed water, with a door in the northeast. Opposite the southwest ghost gate line, it was the strongest yang spot, so I ran straight for the gate. Mojang, blinded, chased after me. I screamed in terror, my feet stumbling wildly. Luckily it was late, few on the road. I only glanced back at Wang Tingting. Her shadow cast on the streetlight, writhing like a frenzy of tongues, nearly scared my guts out. If a passerby saw that, they'd die of fright. Lin Zai, why are you running? Lin Zai, aren't we friends? I love Lin Zai so much. As a friend, shouldn't you care about me? Look. My belly is empty. Wang Tingting, her ghost clinging on, chased from behind. With each question, I felt her closer. By the last one, I realized in horror her voice was almost in my ear. From the corner of my eye, I saw her body. Nearly transparent, something blurry churning in her gut. I screamed out loud. I frantically threw salt from my pocket onto her. She howled in fury, curling up in pain. If I'd known it worked this well, I'd have brought the whole bag. Catching my breath, I kept running for the gate. Almost there now. My phone suddenly buzzed. I thought it was Chuang Mansion, opened it panting. It was a stranger's private message. Chuang Mansion isn't human, he's harming you. My scalp tingled. You must have noticed you can't message him back, right? Don't you find it strange? How does he know Mojang so well? A random online friend. Yet he says he's near you. Don't you think it's a trap? This is his snare. To wipe you all out in one go. Wang Tingting still writhed and held behind, unable to catch up for now. I typed trembling. Then why would he do this? The other side seemed pleased with my question. Because he is Mojang after devouring others, he wears their form. Having swallowed your friend's immature Mojang, then devouring you, full of yin energy, he'd rise a level. Choosing a young rich spot also helped him suppress the unformed Mojang. If you go, you'll truly doom your friend. I slowed my steps, staring hard at the phone. If you don't believe me, feel free to continue. Though a mature Mojang fears salt less, maybe you could try throwing some salt on him. I stopped, looked up. Before me was the school gate. I gasped, chest heaving. My throat tore with pain. I crouched to catch my breath. Rapid footsteps approached. A pair of hands gently lifted me. After intense running, don't crouch. It's dangerous. I looked up a young man in a white short-sleeved shirt. Handsome and clean, no different from anyone else. Seeing me stare, he forced a shy smile. Hello, I'm Lin Shuang. Shuang Mansion. My mind reeled. I swallowed hard. Grabbing his arm, I begged, it's right behind me, master, please. Save my friend. Lin Shuang nodded, but his brow twitched unnaturally. Hide somewhere first. With a crack, he charged past me. I spun around. Pursuing Wang Tingting had become a melting monster. Only snake-like arms remained, bearing huge eyes, staring. Lin Shuang was already locked in battle with her, but I saw on his arm a black handprint had been pressed. When I grabbed him, my hand had salt on it. And that printed was exactly where I held him. I trembled all over. See now? Do you believe me? Want to save your friend? Do as I say. I steadied myself, then What to do? I noticed the one opposite was called Chengui. Chengui. You should still have some yan left. Draw the yan according to this pattern, then hide Shuang Mansion inside it. This spell will trap him naturally. Don't worry about the rest. I'll make my move. As for your friend, he's no threat, no need to bother. He'll recover on his own. I felt a chill, thought it over. I said cautiously, but Ling Shuang seems pretty tough. Can some yan trap him? Didn't you just say Chen Shu and Mo Chang barely use yan? The other side seemed surprised by my doubt, typed for a while without sending anything, then finally replied. This talisman is different. It can't kill, but trapping Ling Shuang is easy. His impatience practically spilled out of the screen. If you want to live, don't be so talkative. Ordinary people like you wouldn't understand. Do as I say and I'll spare your life. I quickly played along. Yes, 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 thank you, master. Those words of mine. He stopped responding. I followed his pattern and carefully spread the yan character on an empty patch of ground. Ling Shuang and Wang Tingting were still fighting. Wang Tingting went for lethal strikes, aiming at his neck and head. Ling Shuang kept dodging. Though clearly stronger, he seemed hesitant and timid. He even got scratched. I double-checked the pattern, found no problems. Took a deep breath, then charged over and threw a handful of yan at Wang Tingting. I shouted, Wang Tingting, come eat me. Eat you? I can crush him in seconds. Wang Tingting's bloodshot eyes were fully enraged by me. She crawled over fast, and I scrambled toward the gate. Ling Shuang was startled by my move and rushed over. I yelled at the top of my lungs. Ling Shuang, don't come. I never shouted that loud. 5 of 6 words nearly cracked. He froze in shock. In that instant, Wang Tingting charged into the formation. She let out a wail. Her inhuman features began to fade. My phone buzzed non-stop. What are you doing? Who told you to trap her? Forget it. Get Ling Shuang in there too. I had no patience left, opened voice chat and yelled. Who do you take me for? Did I ever say in the group that person was mine? How can you be so sure? I noticed you say Ling Shuang pretty smoothly. What? Not calling Shuang Mansion anymore. All that discussion in the group, playing deaf and dumb. The moment Shuang Mansion offered to help, you panicked. Do you think I'm stupid? You're right there. What are you hiding for? I only hurt the villain. I'm not blind. During the fight, Ling Shuang never actually harmed Wang Tingting's body. If I had to trust one of these two, I'd definitely pick Ling Shuang. At least this Chen Gui's character is shady. The moment he messaged, something felt off. Not earlier, not later, right at this timing. It was just too suspicious. But if I'd listened to him and trapped Ling Shuang while Wang Tingting was still there, I'd have been completely helpless. Luckily I remembered that even throwing yan directly at Wang Tingting didn't do much to her, so I gambled. Ling Shuang saw Wang Tingting calm down. Immediately pulled out a talisman and stuck it on Wang Tingting, muttering incantations. Her translucent skin slowly returned to normal. Her overstretched arms also recovered. In the end, she looked like a normal person. Except an extra eye on her forehead, glaring with venom, until even that disappeared. I sighed in relief. Ling Shuang's brows relaxed. He nodded at me. Didn't expect you to know such a spell, but this spell targets Mojang specifically. Where did you learn it? I told him about Chen Gui. Ling Shuang's expression darkened. Chen Gui's not good. The people at school are in danger. He dashed toward the school center. I was startled by his words and had to follow. I was already exhausted from running here, barely keeping up by scrambling. When we reached the school center, I noticed something wrong too. The school center had many flower beds. At this hour there were always annoying insect sounds, but now it was dead silent. Too quiet. Ling Shuang frowned. Suddenly, rustling came from the grass nearby. Like snakes crawling inside, I watched something push through the grass, revealing a horrifying sight. Like a snake, but with human skin, and something squirming inside. Its head was a giant eye, glowing faintly, then countless more lights appeared behind it. A swarm of big-eyed snakes charged out. Lin Shuang rushed forward too, and I panicked. A voice suddenly sounded from the depths. You're a bit clever, but what a pity. Watch this. I'm not lying to you. What was I looking at? I didn't ask, because I already knew Lin Shuang had been bitten by a snake. She screamed in pain, and on the back of her neck, an eye suddenly opened. Ling Shuang fought while speaking, looking too similar to how Wang Tingting had just been. She really was Mo Zhang. I hadn't believed Chen Gui's words earlier. I thought it was just sowing discord, but now I saw it with my own eyes. The person beside me spoke again. This kind of monster you helped her. Do you regret it now? These things should all be destroyed, but it's such a waste. Look how powerful they are. Was it her smile? I suddenly realized something. I probed. They really are stronger than ordinary people like us, but if they become like this, they lose their minds. Wasting them is unavoidable. Chen Gui turned his head and stared at me darkly. Why would you think him as useless as you? I barely dared to breathe. Chen Gui said ordinary people lose their minds, but they don't. How could someone who steals others' minds lose their own? I didn't understand what he meant. But I didn't need to understand, because I'd already gotten the information I wanted. I made up my mind. Master, actually, I always felt something was off about her. I didn't reveal it because I found she seemed to have a secret. I nervously rubbed my hands together. As if about to reveal a big secret, Chen Gui said, "What?" I said, then suddenly yanked my hand out and slapped it over her eye. The irritation hit her eye. She couldn't open it immediately. I lunged forward and pinned her down in the flower bed. I took a deep breath, then bit hard on the back of her neck. She screamed in pain. But she didn't pass out. I quickly used my sleeve to choke her throat. She struggled desperately, and I held on tight. The two of us rolled around on the ground. Once Chen Gui was subdued, Ling Shuang's fighting sounds grew much quieter. Not long after, Ling Shuang's footsteps approached, then she landed a blow on the back of Chen Gui's head. Chen Gui finally passed out. She stood beside me without speaking. I was afraid to look at her, and muttered to myself. I figured Chen Gui looked down on ordinary people, so she wouldn't be wary of me. I thought I'd probe for information. When I probed, I found she clearly distinguished herself from the monsters. I gambled she was a normal human and I was right. Ha! Silence beside me. Then thank you. Lai Shen spoke softly, her voice low. There's one thing she didn't lie to you about. I really am a monster. I never knew how to tell you. Lai Sheng slowly recounted the whole story. Only then did I understand what was going on. A monster is a vicious creature, originally born naturally. People who stay up late are mostly exhausted and weak. Yin energy entering the body becomes the best nest for nurturing a monster. But most people don't stay up too severely. Only those who stay up all year round and don't take care of themselves. Who don't even eat properly get their minds gradually eroded by the monster. Once the erosion lasts long enough, the monster breaks out of the body. It makes the host consume themselves to feed it, while also luring the host to keep staying up late. Ignoring their health, they grow weaker and weaker, unable to resist the monster. Once it matures, it devours the host entirely. Worse still, it prepares rations to replenish energy, then takes on the host's form and continues living out that life as a human. A mature monster is incredibly powerful, so naturally people grew covetous. Some began raising monsters. Some used them as medicine, others absorbed them for their own evil purposes. Ling Shuang was a monster raised this way, but her keeper slipped up, and she escaped. Ling Shuang hid and wandered, only daring to come out after hearing that her keeper had been devoured by his own monster. And Chen Gui was most likely someone who raised monsters. The monsters she raised were all half-finished things, not very powerful and lacking intelligence. Huang Tingting might have been the best one. So when he saw Ling Shuang about to destroy the monster's head painstakingly raised, he panicked and probably figured out Ling Shuang's identity too. Greedily, I wanted to capture Ling Shuang too, but she said. Actually, I later noticed something off. Naturally born immature spirits rarely have much power. It's hard for them to find suitable food, and being immature, once salted, they would keep melting away. With proper care, they'd recover naturally. Only specially cultivated seeds could survive like him, just wounded by salt, still alive. I didn't know what to say, so I thought it over and had to ask him. Why can't you settle this privately? Is it some law? He obediently picked up his phone to show me. Because I got a yearly VIP with full access. Lin Shuang escaped into human society. Surviving in human form, she met some friends, and also some bad people. She helped many who encountered strange trials. Later, seeing the greedy group, she decided to expose the spirit matter. To warn everyone, he wasn't good with words, even after helping others. He always felt ashamed, because he felt he had killed the body's original owner. Though he had no awareness back then, the more Lin Shuang lived in society, the more living people she saw. The more she understood how precious life was. My heart ached at the thought. I looked at him, about to speak, when crying suddenly came from afar. What the hell? Why am I outside? Then I remembered Wang Tingting was still lying at the school gate. Later, Ling Shuang and I became friends, and Wang Tingting, under my orders, adjusted her routine. The three of us often hung out. One day I came back late and read a novel on my phone in the dark. I didn't wash up until late at night. Another student came to brush teeth, so I moved aside. But for some reason, I felt him staring at me. I glanced over several times. He was just brushing his teeth seriously in the mirror. I laughed at my paranoia and rinsed my mouth. But a string in my heart suddenly tightened. I turned, eyes on that student's neck were staring at me.